Wednesday evening, everybody, and welcome to Direct Line. We're just doing a quick updates episode. We're joined today by MDGOP Executive Director Corine Frank. Corine, thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
So we know that you've been crazy busy between the 2022 midterms and now planning for this weekend's convention. So we just wanted to steal you for a few minutes to talk a little bit about what we can look forward to this weekend and then some of the highlights that we had from this year's races. So we'll start off with a little bit of a preview of the election. I know you mentioned we have some exciting speakers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we usually kind of plug our speakers in later. So as I'm sort of sending out all the information, a lot of it is TBD, depending on who's available. And as things tighten up, we plug people in. So I am excited to announce that for our VIP reception speaker on Friday night, we will have Congressman Andy Harris. And that will be our awards reception. So we'll have a good time giving those out. And I believe that Dwight Patel was our Man of the Year last year when we had our convention at AAGOP. So we'll have to have somebody else come in and be the Man of the Year. So that'll be fun. And then we will have County Executive Bob Casserly will be our breakfast speaker. He was just sworn in yesterday. So Senator Casserly became County Executive Casserly. So we're very excited for him. He's done a tremendous job. And, we look forward to hearing what he has to say.
Awesome. And I will also plug on behalf of the Maryland Republican Jewish Council, we'll be bringing back by popular demand our Friday night Shabbat reception service. So as you're checking in, you'll be able to come and stop by our table and see us light some fake candles because I don't think the casino likes us lighting candles. We're also going to have some Hanukkah treats. We have dreidels and gelt, and we're going to have some manischewitz. So stop by and get a little festive with us before you join the reception. So we talked a little bit about, you mentioned there are awards, but we're going to do our own little special conversation shout outs to some key members of central committees who are no longer going to be serving on central committees now, but who've really been around a long time and made a massive impact on the Republican Party in Maryland. So the first person that we have is Jerry DeWolf.
Jerry has been amazing. And, Board of Education has been a passion of mine. Jerry got, knee deep in the slog of Board of Ed races to support some really fantastic candidates. He was really involved. They had a woman who made some horrendous comments about the president at the time. He was active in helping to try to get her removed and replaced. So he has no race was too high or too low for him. And I'm so appreciative, obviously Board of Ed is such a passion and so important. And he took that on early and he has just done a tremendous job in Washington. Plus, he's so sweet and so nice. Everybody loves Jerry.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry to see him go, but he wanted to spend some time with his family. I totally get that too. You go in politics, and sometimes you just need to take a step back and watch your little ones grow up. So I'm happy for him. I'm really pleased for him.
For sure. We also have Catherine Grosso.
Yes, our chairman of Calvert County. She's been off for a little while, and we had a new chairman, Cal Stewart, that came in, and they actually just had another election. So it's been a little bit, but she served for a very long time. About a year ago, she left, and she is now the new commissioner in Calvert County. She did a tremendous job in her race. She won by a really solid margin. So she is rocking and rolling, and certainly our folks are really proud of her for that.
Yes. And then from Montgomery County, and I could plug a little in this one, is Don Irvine. And Don has been a staple in Montgomery County, Maryland politics for much longer than I've been living here. So, and he's one of the first people I met when I moved here and got involved. And he's just been a stalwart of ethics and always around to help out with the podcast and to help out with the Central Committee. And is taking time back as well to focus on his faith and on his family. So we're going to miss him as well in Montgomery County.
You know who else is leaving and moving on?
Who else?
We have to give a shout out to Chris Tomlinson too.
Yes.
Our third vice chairman. He resigned in February or March to pursue a state delegate, and he actually got got through uncontested. So he's known for a little while that he was going to be the delegate, but we're very proud of him as well.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's some other people who we've missed, and I wish we could take the time to name all
I
of
know,
them.
I know. I'm thinking we have a couple of people who were on central committee who have moved on and done some amazing things. So, it's always exciting to see people grow and to try to moving through politics and finding higher offices and finding new ways to serve. So we're very thankful for all of the opportunities that the state party provides people and all of the relationships that we build and all of the central committee members who, continue and pursue and stay involved. So we're excited to grow.
Absolutely. A couple of other things that we can plug. We had a couple of really good wins from 2022, as you mentioned, Bob Castley winning his county executive race, Julie Giordano, who was sworn in as the first female county executive of Wicomico County. And there were a couple, I think you mentioned we had some good Board of Ed updates and wins as well, right?
We did. So, interestingly enough, and actually, I might want to pull up some numbers in a minute for this too. We won 44 seats. Republicans won 44 Board of Education seats. We now control 13 counties. And I believe that means that the Democrats controlled. So there are a couple that are sort of purpley, and full control. It's 9 or 10 that they somewhat control, but it's less that they have a solid majority where they would be able to pass something with the majority that they would need. So we have that. I am the chairman of the Maryland Alliance for Parents and Students. It's a PAC that I chair, and we raised over $27,000 this cycle to assist Board of Education members around the state, and 14 of our endorsed candidates did win. Now, on election night, 19 of those candidates had won, and unfortunately, we saw a couple of them lose their lead over the next couple days with all of the mail-in ballots that we saw come in. And we know that that is definitely a focus that we're going to need in subsequent elections. But we are incredibly pleased that we got 14 folks through and that we were able to assist. And we look forward to growing that as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And then, of course, as you've heard, all the people who watch the show have heard me say this a million times on a million different episodes. There's no such thing as an off year in politics, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what kinds of races are going into 2023? Or
Absolutely.
what do we do in an off year?
Yes. So what we do in an off year. So there are a lot of things that we need to do in an off year. And the first thing, especially for the first year of a cycle for central committees, we need to focus on building, growing, organizing. There are a lot of municipal races that come up in the first year of the cycle, and it's a really great opportunity for people to go in and, in a smaller microcosm of an election, understand how this works. How do we start organizing precincts on a smaller level? How do we start engaging volunteers on a smaller level? And then as you get into the cycle more and more, the final year is the fourth year. And for those years, you're going to have this across the state. So you build and build and build. There are a couple of suggestions that I would make to central committee members. In 2020, the staff put a lot of hours into our build program, building unity in local districts, and we focused heavily on voter registration, and we focused heavily on what you need to do to be a successful organization. You need to have a website, you need to have a Facebook presence, you need to have an anecdote link and be able to send mailing and fundraising asks to a mail list. So you need to have a mail list. And it was really a cookie cutter approach, a basic platform for organizations to grow from. I would absolutely recommend folks dusting that off, updating it a little bit. There's a lot of voter reg information that's really relevant still. And so they should be building into those types of initiatives and then using those types of initiatives to start with the smaller municipal races, which are very important because that builds our bench. And then we move into the presidential cycle, which gives us a couple of larger races. We'll have the presidential race, obviously, which is huge. We'll have the congressional races. We'll have a Senate race. And then we'll have a lot of Board of Education races, which usually mimic the county council districts. So they are really good. Even if you are not passionate about Board of Education, it's a really good way to figure out what those districts are going to be like on the county council in a couple of years.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely get your sleep in during the holidays because it's going to pick right back up come the new year.
Yeah.
And speaking of holidays, one other thing I'll go ahead and plug is that there will be the Republican Party Christmas party, holiday party coming up that Nicolene Ambrose is hosting at her home. And there will be information available on that on social media. And I'm sure Dwight can plug the link to that in the video as well so people can find it. And let's see, I'm trying to think what else. This is just our super quick midday update for everybody to see. I don't know. What else do you have to share with us, Corinne, if anything?
So there are a couple of initiatives that we're working on. So right now we are looking at some of the concerns that came from the Board of Elections. People had a lack of understanding in some cases of what they needed to report when we had this voter protection. So to backtrack a little bit, we had the Republican National Lawyers Association work with us to secure up our Protect the Vote efforts. And we had a hotline, you would call, you would email. Unfortunately, not everyone understood what they should be calling about. So we had sort of a triage approach to that. And then as we called some of the board elections members, sometimes they were unsure of how to proceed in certain situations. So we are working with FreedomWorks and Leadership Institute. I think it's Leadership Institute actually that we're going to work with to do training for Board of Elections members. So that's really exciting because when I talked to them about that, they said, nobody's ever really contacted us about this, but we are happy to assist you because we think it's important. Because sometimes we appoint folks and they grow into the role, but they don't get sort of an outside look at how to improve. So they're sort of, they get the institutional knowledge, but they don't get a lot of outside knowledge. So this is a really great way to kind of pull in some other information and to pull in some other perspective on how this could be looked at, how it should be done. I believe all of those appointments will be coming up pretty soon. The central committees will have to pick their Board of Elections picks. I think the governor appoints in June, I think.
All right.
But yeah, it'll all be coming up pretty soon. So all of our Board of Elections members will flip over again. And it's really good time to start training the folks that we're going to put into those roles.
That's super exciting. All right. Well, on that note, everyone, thank you for joining us for this abbreviated but super informative episode of Direct Line Live. And we will be back post-convention with more updates for you next week.